Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give y'all a chance to tune in before I dive into the topic for the day. Just want to get some motivation going today, man. I'm once again feeling inspirational, man. I just want to pass that energy along. Hopefully, this motivational prep talk that I have for you today, it encourages you to make some changes in your life that I know that will benefit you. So I'm feeling real motivational, man. I just want to pass that energy. As always, y'all know how I go. So I'm gonna give y'all a chance to tap in and tune in. D Monty Magic, peace. G, what's going on with you? Sean, peace. What's going on with you, my brother? Tavis, what's going on with you, my brother? How y'all living? Hopefully y'all maintain it and y'all not letting other people dictate how y'all feel. Not letting other people dictate your peace. So hopefully y'all doing well in that category. Like I said, I know the world around us can be chaotic, but we got to remain peaceful. We got to remain calm amongst that chaos. We got to do that. Zucko, peace. What's going on, man? And I chopped it up with your sis on Instagram. What's going on with you, Zucko? BYG, peace. What's going on? Get that smoothie in. Get it in. And Sean, there it is. It's gonna continue to move right. It's all the perception. It's all your perspective. So it's gonna continue to move right. D Monty Magic, most definitely. You already know. I'm feeling the same way, and I just want to pass on that inspiration. Eli, Smooth, what's going on with you, bro? How you living? How you holding up? We just gotta pass. We gotta pass along that inspiration and that motivational energy, man. It's contagious. Just like the negative energy is contagious, that positive energy can be the same way. It can also be contagious. That productive energy, that peaceful energy, all of it is contagious. So when you feeling good, you got to pass it along, man. When you feeling good, don't be afraid to show that feeling. Don't be afraid to speak your peace. Don't be afraid to speak your positivity. Don't be afraid to live out that reality. Because like I said, it's contagious. People need that. People need that. Like, you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention. So always stay true to self, especially when you're feeling inspired, encouraged, positive, productive, all of that good stuff, man. You never know who needs it at that particular time. So it's always a good thing to stay true to self when it comes to things like that. Sweet tea, peace, what's going on? Don't shield that positivity, man. Don't shield it. Don't shield that power, man. Like I said, we got enough forces working against us that keep us in the negative state. So when we feel good, opposing that negative state, we got to broadcast that to the world because we don't see enough of that. We know that it's out here, but we don't see enough of that, and we know the reasons why. So it's up to us when we are feeling like that to broadcast it. Oh, Sean, that's one of the best ways. That's one of the best ways to reverse it. You always got to counter it. They say when you had a negative thought, you got to counter it with like 2 or 3 positive thoughts. So that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it, because the reason why you probably got to do that is because the momentum of the world is more of a negative and chaotic nature. So it's easy to ride that negative wave. So when that negative wave hits you, you really got to work to counter it. So you can't just counter it with 1 positive thought. It's got to be 2. It's got to be 3. So you got to work hard to counter that negative wave that's going to hit you from time to time, that unproductive wave that's going to hit you from time to time. You got to just counter it, and you got to work hard to counter that. Got to fight it. Oh, D Monty Magic, still I rise. I was listening to Me Against the World. And listen, Me Against the World, I was definitely feeling that, and it relates to this. Me Against the World. Just listen to what I'm saying. When you feel like you at peace, when you activate your inner peace, when you in tune with yourself, you literally at some point begin to feel like it's you against the world. When you're dealing with the masses, when you go out into the public and you deal with people, you literally start to feel like it's you against everybody else due to the fact that you at peace, you comfortable with yourself, and most people are not. So you honestly feel like you start to feel like it's you against everybody else when you walk outside and you in tune with yourself. You've activated that inner peace. So I can relate to that album, man, because soon as I step outside, sometimes I feel like it's me against everybody else. I got to protect my peace. I honestly feel like everybody, because they are so disturbed, I feel like everybody is after my peace. So that's what I mean by saying I feel like it's me against the world. Like I literally feel like I have to protect my peace the moment I step outside, because I feel like everybody right there sees me as a threat because I have knowledge of who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm at peace with who I am, and most people are not. So they're gonna try to attack your peace just based off of that. So at some point, when you get that knowledge of self and you comfortable with who you are, you accept who you are and you embrace who you are, it's gonna be you against the world. So that's why I like that album, man. That album resonates with me because I can relate to it. As soon as you step outside, man, just y'all know how it is. As soon as you step outside and you comfortable with yourself, it seemed like everybody and anybody is out against you, is out to disturb your peace. Y'all know it. Y'all done dealt with it. Y'all have dealt with it. Lindell, peace, what's going on with you? Oh, yeah, Tavis, that's most definitely my favorite album for him. And Hero, peace, what's going on? The Mind, peace, what's going on with you? Babyface Jones, peace, what's going on? Most definitely. Positive, productive, powerful vibes. The 3 P's, that's what we deal with. Positivity, productivity, and just power. That's what we deal with. Don't neglect the power. Sean Dow, when it comes to like earth angels, I'm not necessarily big on like angel talk and spirits and stuff like that. So I wouldn't necessarily refer to anybody as an earth angel. What I do think though is it's a lyric in the song. It said, everything preaches to you, you decipher who the reverend is. So I just feel like everything is a lesson. Just every encounter, you can extract a lesson or a message from every encounter. And that's any and everybody. But most of the times we tend to overlook the everyday average person that we encounter. And it could be a message in there, but we tend to overly focus on the things that seem mysterious. You know, like that one person that came out of nowhere and told you something of significance. We tend to place more emphasis on that type of stuff. But every day you can get a message. Every day you can get a message because like that song said, everything is preaching to you. You decipher who the reverend is. So everyone is a messenger. Everyone is a messenger. Everything that you encounter in your life has a message attached to it. You just got to decipher what that message is. And that's everything in life. Everything and everyone that you encounter with, it has a message attached to it. It has significance attached to it. You just got to decipher what it is. Sean, peace, what's going on with you, my brother? And I appreciate that support and that purchase. Hopefully you can attain some jewels from that. Logic, Osun, what's going on with you? Oh, D Monty Magic, most definitely. You always got to embrace the challenge, embrace the struggle, embrace everything, embrace the obstacles, embrace the trials and tribulations, embrace it all, because those are merely just opportunities. Builds character, builds strength. So those are just opportunities. Those are not negatives. Yeah, D Monty Magic, and we're gonna build on that. Everything is mental. And that's what I tell everybody. Everything, literally. Without your mind, what would exist right now? Without your mind, what would exist? Everything is mental. Without that mind, just think about it. What would exist to you? Without that mind, without your mind, what would exist? Absolutely nothing. So that's proven. That's showing and proving that everything is mental. So once you grasp that, once you understand that, once you accept that reality, nothing can stop you. No one can stop you. But a lot of people cannot grasp that for various reasons. But you got to be able to grasp that reality that everything is mental. Everything, literally. That is what you can control, your perception. So everything is mental, and that's something that you have to accept and embrace. But a lot of people don't accept and embrace that. Yeah, Lindell, that's the worst thing you could do. And another thing on top of that, when you start to feel that sorrow, it's like that's cool, but then it's like, what's the solution? So we got to focus more on that solution. We got to focus more so on that solution. But a lot of times we tend to mope and we tend to overly focus on that problem. If you continue to focus on that problem, you're just going to manifest more problems. So you got to focus on that solution. Again, I've always said it, what you focus on, it grows. So if you focus on solutions, then that is what's going to grow. You're going to find solutions in abundance to your problems when you focus on solutions. What is the solution? And I'm always go to finances. A lot of us struggle with finances. We know how Black people in this country can get when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to finances. We always feeling like we lacking, which is false, collectively speaking. But let's just say you having an issue with your finances. The thing of it is you got to change your perception. You got to change your perception. Let's say that it's something that you are striving to get, maybe a new home or something like that. You can't look at it and say, I can't afford it. You got to ask yourself, what must I do to be able to afford that? And guess what? You're going to start getting a lot of solutions, a lot of ideas that will come to you based off of the fact that you rephrase that perception or that question. So a lot of times we just look at things in the wrong light and we wonder why we don't get the ideas. We don't get the solutions that we need to the problem. It's because how we phrasing it, how we looking at it. And that's creating a problem. Lachelle, Peach, what's going on? Yeah, Zucko, and like I always say, it's not necessarily even about good, evil, bad, good, whatever the case may be. It's about learning that lesson. It's about extracting the message. That's what it's always about. That's what it's always about. You can win, you can so-called win, but not extract the message from the win. So essentially, you actually lost. Oh, yeah, Nero. Yeah, most definitely. Got to embrace it. Got to embrace it. And then I want to transition over to basically what the title is when I talk about peace being an inside job. A lot of times we are too dependent upon outside sources for our peace. We look at peace as something that must be attained instead of activated. Peace is something that you activate. Peace is something that you can manifest, that you must manifest. Nobody else can supply you with this peace. So we got to stop dependent upon other people, environments, activities, whatever the case may be, to supply us with peace. Peace is not something that you have to go get. It's something that already exists within you. You just have to activate it and let it be. It's lying dormant within you. You are suppressing your own peace, and that is leading to your own destruction. So you have to realize that when you suppress that peace, you think that it's missing. You think that it's outside of you. No, you have suppressed it. You have buried it. So when you do that, that's when you start seeking outside sources. That's when you start seeking or overly indulging in these things externally in order to supply you with this peace, because you have buried it and you feel like it's lost. You feel like it doesn't exist. You feel like you don't have peace. You feel like you don't deserve peace. That's because you have buried your own peace. So you did that to yourself. And you want to blame everybody else for your lack of peace. No, you buried that peace. You suppressed it. That's your fault. That's your doing. And nobody else can change that situation but you. Oh, Julie, all night long. Peace. No problem. You already know. We in tune. Oh, the mind, unbreakable. And that's again, that's a great title. That's how you have to be. You have to be unbreakable. You have to be unbreakable, because you're going to encounter a lot of things in life that's going to try to break you down. You're going to encounter a lot of things in life that's going to strive to break you down, and you cannot allow that to happen. Yeah, Julie, again, that's what I tell people all the time. You cannot allow another person to make you angry, because at that point you have relinquished the control you have over self. So you cannot allow other people to dictate your energy, your vibe, your ways and actions, however you want to phrase it. You cannot allow other people to dictate that. You cannot. The moment that you do it is the moment that you become powerless. And that's part of our problem in this particular country. We have relinquished our power. We have allowed other people to dictate how we move, to dictate how we think, to dictate what we think. Therefore, that has rendered us powerless. And that is part of the problem. That is part of the problem. We have relinquished that power. We got to reclaim that power on an independent level, and then on a macro level. So on the micro level, individually, and then as a whole, we've also got to reclaim that power in order to reclaim our collective peace, our collective equality, that collective balance. Our D-Monty Magic, Ab Soul is my dude. Ab Soul is my dude. Tavon, peace. What's going on with you? Oh yeah, Lindell, and that's what I tell people all the time. I always look, listen. I'm a firm. I don't like to say believe. I don't deal with belief. We know. See, I know about the power of words. So I'm real picky in regard when people get around me. It's certain things that I don't tolerate in regards to phrases and words and things that they may speak. I have to correct them immediately. And that's one of the things that I always correct people. When people come to me and say that they are broke, I always correct it. You are not broke. You are not broke. You got this mind. You have an arm. You have a leg. You have arms. You have legs. Your heart is beating. Your eye, you can see. You got all of these things working in your favor, and you talking about you broke. I can bring you a physically broken person, but most of the people that say that they are broke, nah, everything is functioning just fine on them. So you are not broke. You are not broke. You definitely rich in the mind. You definitely rich in the mind. You definitely appear to be on the surface to be functioning perfectly. So you're not broke. You can see me. You can hear me. You can walk to me. You're not broke. So stop saying that. So a lot of times when people come to me and say certain things, it may not appear to be that deep, but I got to correct that. Because I know about the power of words. So if you keep telling yourself you broke enough, guess what? Your mind is going to present you with situations that validate what you keep telling it, because it's going to accept that as truth, because it doesn't know how to decipher truth from fiction. So you keep telling yourself, you keep feeding that to the mind that you broke. Guess what? Your mind is going to manifest circumstances that validate you being broken. It's going to continue to manifest feelings that validate you being broken. So do not say that. I don't even care if it's a figure of speech. Stop telling yourself that you're broken. Stop telling yourself that you broke, because you are not. You're far from it. If you are able to utter that sentence, or if you are able to utter that statement and say that you are broke, you are not broken. Jalen, peace. What's going on with you? Terenzo, what's going on with you, my brother? Marcus G, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, Tavon, I'm real big on just certain words I don't even utilize. Like can't is definitely one of those words. And I come across that a lot of being a personal trainer. A lot of people just feel like it's things that they can't do. And a lot of people come to me and say, man, a week ago, I couldn't do this. I didn't think I could do this. I'm like, man, because you sleeping on yourself. You sleeping on yourself. We always sleeping on ourselves, man. That's something that we need to stop doing as well. We always sleeping on ourselves. We always sleeping on ourselves, man. We don't think highly of ourselves enough, man. It's stuff that I mean we can easily do, that we simply think we can't do because we have been brainwashed to believe that we can't do. We're not that strong. We're not that intelligent. We're not that privileged. So we don't even entertain the thought of manifesting certain things because we have been brainwashed and conditioned to believe that we're not worthy of it. Got to stop doing that. Got to stop feeding into that mainstream energy. You got to go underground when it comes to the energy. Stop feeding into that mainstream perception, that mainstream energy, that mainstream vibe. That vibe was designed to tear you down. That vibe was designed to disturb your peace. That vibe was designed to keep you in poverty. That is what that type of vibe was designed for. The mainstream vibe is not made for you and me. Wasn't made for us. Our vibe is underground. They try to bury that vibe, that true vibe that we need, that righteous vibe. That when we tap into that vibe, we start manifesting all the things that, again, some months ago, some years ago, we thought were impossible. It becomes possible when you go underground and tap into that vibe. Beautiful Goddess Keys, peace. What's going on? Wheezy Baby, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, Sean Dow, and that's all it is. And again, notice what I said about perception. So when you say broke, but you mean financially irresponsible, then say that. Germ God, peace. What's going on? But you're not broken. You're not broke at all. You're not broke. And then don't even focus on being financially irresponsible. If your finances are not up to par, not where you want them to be, then you just got to ask yourself a simple question. What must I do in order to change my financial situation? Don't call yourself financially irresponsible. Don't call yourself broke. Look at your situation and say, what must I do to improve my income? What must I do to generate more income? What must I do to save more? Whatever it is that you need to work on, ask yourself that question. What must you do to change that particular circumstance? And you got to do it repeatedly. And guess what? You're going to get sign after sign after sign after sign that is letting you know what needs to be done in order to change your situation for the better. But if you continue to call yourself financially irresponsible, then your mind is going to accept that. It's going to accept that fact. And guess what? Once it accepts the fact that now we are financially irresponsible, the cycle will continue. You will not change because you have accepted, your mind has accepted the fact that you are financially irresponsible. So it's going to continue to manifest thoughts, feelings, circumstances, conditions that correlate with what you keep telling it and what you keep feeding it. So you got to be real mindful in regards to what you feed the mind. Because again, it doesn't know how to decipher fact from fiction. So even when you calling it financially irresponsible, that may be true, but you don't want to continue to tell yourself that because yourself will accept that and manifest conditions that revolve around that correlate with what you're telling it. So instead of saying financially irresponsible, just say, all right, cool. What do I need to do to change my financial situation? Period. And watch all the signs you get and watch how that changes the dynamic. Oh, Julie, you already know. Julie all night long. It ain't nothing to build with me. Yeah, DeMonty Magic, and it's the old cliche. It's the old cliche. We definitely shouldn't be saying can't, man. Like even impossible. Like the old cliche again. It lets you know even when you break that down, I'm possible. So you see possible in impossible. So again, like possible is in that. I'm possible. It's possible. So even when you think something is impossible, it's just letting you know within that entire word, I'm possible. So whatever it is you think is impossible, it's letting you know, no, literally, I'm possible. This can be done. You can do it. So you just got to break that word down, man. It's possible. It's possible. Whatever it is you think is impossible, I'm guaranteeing you. I'm guaranteeing you it's more possible than you think. It's more possible than you give yourself credit for. Yeah, Terenzo, when we get into imagination, that's real powerful in regards to just manifestation. Weezy baby, no doubt. Peace, G. Yeah, DeMonty Magic, and that paradigm shift is crucial. I made a video in the past about the paradigm shift and things of that nature. So it's crucial. Got to embrace that. Acknowledge that. Embrace that evolution, man. That's evolution. That's evolution. You improving. You improving. Always embrace that process and embrace that shift. Yeah, babyface. That's what it is. That's why they call it spelling. When you jot it down, that's why they call it spelling. So we already know how that goes. That's why you got to be mindful of what you speak, mindful of what you jot down. You got to be mindful of even what you think. A lot of people think if they don't verbally say it, if they don't verbally spit it out, or if they don't write it down, then it's harmless. No. When it's a thought, it can be just as harmful by it staying a thought. If you just keep entertaining the thought, it don't necessarily have to become a word verbally. It don't necessarily have to be written down. It could just stay as a thought. But if you continue to think it, it can become harmful. So people don't understand that. Cart, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, beautiful goddess keys. And I just saw that about spelling. So yeah, most definitely. That's why they call it that. Most definitely. Yeah, Tavon, and that's why I said I'm real mindful in regards to when I associate with people. It's just certain words, certain sentences that I just won't tolerate. So when you say that, when you say stuff around me, I have to correct it. And again, the other person may feel like it's not that deep, but to me it is. Don't utter certain things about yourself in my presence. I have to correct that. I have to correct that. Even if you may feel like you joking at the end of the day, like I said, I got to correct that, man. We got to watch how we talk about ourselves. We really got to be mindful of how we talk about ourselves in public and in private. It's crucial. So don't talk negatively about yourself in public or in private. You just shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. That should be common sense. But for the most part, people don't adhere to that common sense. And we already know the cliche, the cliche phrases about common sense. Common sense is not too common. Yeah, D-Monty Magic, and that's the breakdown for the enemy. That's the breakdown. That's the breakdown for the enemy. Like my man Stickman said from Dead Press, he said, if I overlook the enemy within, I'm a fool. That's what Stickman said, Dead Press, in the track they did long time ago, said, if I overlook the enemy within, I'm a fool. And a lot of times we overlook that enemy that exists right within self. And it's an enemy that we created. It's an enemy that we created. It doesn't naturally exist there. We created that enemy due to a lot of conditioning and things of that nature. But it's an enemy internally that we created. And we keep suppressing that energy, striving to bury it alive, but it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. If you don't get to the root cause, that enemy that's within you that you created is not going anywhere. Suppressing it doesn't necessarily mean annihilation. Doesn't mean that you've killed it. You just suppressed it. You buried it deeper and deeper. It's still existing. It's still causing problems. So you got to get to the root cause of this enemy that you have created. Stop suppressing it. Stop being afraid to sit with yourself and get to the bottom of your problems. Get to the bottom of yourself. Get to the bottom of who you are. Stop being afraid to do that. That is how you solve internal problems. That is even how you solve external problems. That's how you get to the root cause of everything, by being able to sit with yourself. And a lot of people cannot tolerate sitting with themselves because they may self-destruct, because they have been running for themselves for so long. They have suppressed all these feelings. So when they sit with themselves, maybe in meditation, whatever it is, just sitting in silence, all of these thoughts that they have suppressed come running back up, come rising back to the surface. The cream always rises to the top. And that enemy within that you created is the cream, which is symbolic to the truth. Those are true feelings, true energy and motion. And once you sit in silence, it's now rising to the top. So now you got to deal with it. And a lot of people don't like dealing with it. So they constantly seeking distractions. They need to distract themselves. They need to be around people constantly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They need to always be around people. They need to always be involved in some sort of activity. They got to distract their mind, because the moment that they don't, that cream, those problems, those feelings that they have suppressed will rise to the top, and they start going crazy. So they always seeking to distract themselves. So we got to stop running from ourselves and running from our problems, running from the enemy again within that we have created. We didn't create this condition, and now we're running from it. Got to stop running from yourself and running from your problems. Because at the end of the day, those problems ain't going anywhere. They right there, and they causing destruction. They leading to disease, chronic disease. They leading to illness. Yeah, Sean, that's the key. Work on your craft, master your craft. Master your craft. Like, I got a book called The One Thing. It tells you to focus on that one thing that you are good at. Focus on that one thing and just master that. And everything will flow from you focusing on that one thing and mastering that craft. So I'm always telling people to focus on that one thing. Just focus on it. And it's going to grow for you. Everything is going to follow, man. The money, the wealth, whatever you need to generate, it's going to follow. It's going to flow from you focusing on that one thing, no matter what that one thing is. Everything that you need will flow from that, will flow from you mastering that particular craft. Yeah, D-Monty Magic, we even getting into inner chi, and then I'm gonna do you one big. I'm not gonna necessarily say it's the energy is the opposite of enemy, because again, enemy, that's energy. That's energy, but it's been harnessed in the wrong direction. So it's becoming destructive energy because we suppressed it. So again, you got potential and you got kinetic energy. You got potential and you got that kinetic energy. So when we start storing that energy, it's potential energy. And that potential energy can be destructive or it can help us build. So a lot of times when we suppress that energy, it becomes potential energy. Then we sit with ourselves. Then it becomes kinetic energy, but it becomes destructive energy. Like we even got the acronyms for peace. One of the things I like to say, one of the ways that I've broken it down, positive energy activates calm environments. So that's one thing I'm always talking about, positive energy, because you do have destructive energy. So positive energy activates calm environments. It's real simple, but a lot of us don't put that into practice. Just manifest that positive energy. Just focus on being positive. Focus on being positive. And people don't understand. A lot of people associate the wrong things with positivity. A lot of people look at somebody that's just like overly positive as unrealistic. Nah, that is not what positivity means. You can definitely look at things from a realistic standpoint and still be positive. You don't have to be pessimistic and see the bad in everything. As long as you know that it's duality within everything, that's positivity. Positivity is not just telling you to focus on one side. Positivity is letting you know that, okay, this happened, but it's also another way that this can be done. So it's telling you not to just focus on this one aspect of it. It's several sides to this. And you got to focus on all of those sides. That's positive energy. Yeah, Julie, all night long. That's what I tell people all the time. I think it, therefore I am type deal. I tell people that all the time. Yeah, Magic Rim. And that's why I was just talking about that right before you tapped in about the subconscious mind, the mind in general, not being able to decipher fact from fiction. So I was breaking that down right before you tapped in, but that's true indeed. It's not able to decipher fact from fiction. So you got to really watch. You got to be mindful of what you plant into the mind. Because again, it's not going to be able to tell you this is right, this is wrong. It's going to accept everything, any and everything. Yeah, Tavon, and that's what we say. That's why we say the cream always rises to the top. The same analogy. Metro TV, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, Zucko, and people don't understand the yin, the yang, positive, negative, build, destroy. I mean, every culture that you look into, look at, they have that duality, man, woman, like all of that. Sun, moon, we all got that duality. So you always got to embrace that other aspect of self, that other aspect of life. But we tend to not embrace that so-called dark side. And I don't even like to call it the dark side, because to me, dark is positive. So that's a good side. So, but we gotta embrace that so-called negative side, man. That ain't nothing to run from. That's something to embrace. That's something to embrace. Embrace that part of your life. Embrace that part of yourself. That's what made you you. So embrace it. Don't run from it. Don't try to bury it. Embrace it. Let it out. Let it flow. And then we also, again, like I've always talked about with accountability, hold yourself accountable for the things that's happening to you. And Sean, appreciate the donation. Forgot to throw that out there. Appreciate that donation. But yeah, don't hold yourself accountable for everything that happens to you in your life. Everything. Hold yourself accountable. What tends to happen, because y'all know how we talked in the last video, we tend to give credit to outside sources for stuff that happens to us that's good, and for stuff that happened to us that's bad. We feel like it's a temptation. We feel like it's the devil and all that type of stuff. Nah, man, the devil didn't make you do whatever it was that you deem as negative. You did that. You decided to do that. You made that decision. Ain't no devil tempt you. You did that. You acted. You acted on your own thoughts, on your own feelings. That was you. You made the decision. Whatever it was that you feel like the devil tempted you to do was no devil, was no temptation. It was all you. You made that decision. 100% you. You did that. So you need to hold yourself accountable for the consequences that come with the decisions that you make. Stop blaming outside sources. Stop giving credit to outside sources when you made the decision, when you acted, when you did that. That was a result of your ways and actions. Ain't no temptation. Ain't no temptation. So stop using that as an excuse and hold yourself accountable for the decisions that you make in life. D Monty Magic, and that's what you got to do. Like I said, the lyrics said, everything preaches to you, you decipher who the reverend is. Y'all already know how I feel about preaching and reverends and that, but we can understand the message in that. Everything is a teacher. Again, you decide who that teacher is. Everything is a message. You decide who that messenger is. Everything, literally. You can look at, man, I can look at this laptop that I'm speaking on, and I can break this laptop down, and I can apply that to myself. I can find a message in this laptop. Any and everything that you want to find a message in, you can. Period. It don't have to just necessarily stand out. You can create the message. You can create the message. You don't have to wait for a universe to give you signs. You don't have to wait for a God to give you signs. You can create these signs yourself. Everything you look at in life right now is symbolism. Everything. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for a sign. Everything right now is symbolism. Everything. Everything is a symbol. Everything surrounding you is a symbol. Everything. So everything has a message attached to it. Everything, man. You can't find me anything that's not a symbol right now in your life, man. Just look around. It's all symbols. You can find a message. You can extract a message in everything that's around you right now. We just choose not to do it. We wait for something significant, and then we like to give that credit to something else outside of us. That's what we like to do. No, demonstrate your power. Create that message that you're waiting on, that you're waiting for. Create that message right now. Stop waiting on that message. Stop waiting on something or someone to send you a message. No, create the message that you're waiting on. And you can easily do that because you have the power to do that. But they don't want to tell you about that power. Because if too many of us realize that power, it'll be a different world. Yeah, magic rims, that's what tends to create an addiction. That distraction, that tends to lead to addiction. Whether it's a food addiction, whether it's a drug addiction, even though a food is a drug, so it's all really the same, but it all can lead to an addiction. Even just being around people, that can become an addiction. Like I always got to be around crowds of people because I need to distract myself because I can't sit alone with my own thoughts. That can become an addiction. So literally, that's what that distraction tends to lead to, an addiction. So we gotta watch that. We gotta watch seeking that distraction. We gotta watch it. Yeah, D Monty Magic. The flow state of mind. Now, Bruce Lee didn't talk about it verbatim, like he didn't mention it by that name, but that's pretty much how Bruce Lee viewed things. And I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, man. So when I was studying Bruce Lee, that's how I actually came into a lot of the ways that I think right now. Like Bruce Lee was one of the first individuals that I studied, along with like Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Huey Newton. But Bruce Lee, I studied a lot of his philosophies. Then I studied the people that he studied type deal. Got to like Alan Watts and things like that, man. But I started breaking down a lot of the people that Bruce Lee studied. So that flow state, that Bruce Lee talked a lot about that. But again, he didn't speak on it by that term, by that name. But I definitely fool with it. Yeah, Sean, hey, never stop looking within. That's where all the answers at. That's where all the answers are at. And Zucko, hold up. You said the author of the one thing. Let me go get it. Y'all know I be forgetting the authors. I just be knowing the book name. But yeah, I can go find the author real quick for you. It's Gary Keller. The One Thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. Definitely go get that book. The One Thing. As a matter of fact, I like to show y'all the book for the day. Let me see what book I got that I can put y'all on game today. Let me see. This is probably a popular joint that y'all could probably go get right here. The Color of Money. Black Banks and the Racial Wealth Gap. Go ahead and crack this joint open. It's going to be the book of the day. Y'all know I like to always suggest books. Here go a good book right here. The Color of Money, Black Banks and the Racial Wealth Gap. So get that book. Yeah, Lindell. Hey, how you act when no one's watching and when no one is around is definitely more important. Definitely. Because we like to put on that act when we around people. We like to put on that act when we around other crowds, when we around other people. But the truth comes out when we tend to get alone. That's why a lot of us can't stand to be alone, because that's when the truth comes out. And Elijah Muhammad said the truth hurts the guilty. The truth hurts the guilty. So we already know why a lot of people can't stand to be alone, because that's when that truth comes out, and that's when it's going to hurt. That's when it's going to hurt us. Oh, Sean Dow, no doubt. We could chop it up a little bit. I always leave here and go train. So wherever you want to find me at, yeah, just find me on whatever platform you want to find me on. We can chop it up. Oh, Tavon, I am affirmations. And then I got a book. When I was reading Mike Tyson's autobiography, and he talked about his trainer. And man, I forget the name of the book that his trainer, Cus D'Amato. Hold on, let me see. I don't want to misquote the book, so I'm finna get the exact name of the book, so y'all can go get this joint. But it has an affirmation in there, man, that I have started speaking. Yeah, self-mastery through conscious auto-suggestion. When I read Mike Tyson's autobiography, and he talked about some of the techniques that his trainer used, Cus D'Amato, and he brought up that book, and that book is powerful. And one of the affirmations that's used in that book is, every day in every way, my life is getting better and better. And you're supposed to repeat that to yourself 20 times in the morning, 20 times before you go to bed. And I did that for about a week or two, man. I was just manifesting a lot just by repeating that. So that's those affirmations are powerful. Oh, Eli Smooth, if you talking about how to embrace the struggle and how to embrace obstacles and trials and tribulations without getting too caught up in it, it's real easy. When I say embrace it, one thing I'm also telling you to do is to eliminate viewing it as an obstacle. Eliminate viewing it as a trial and tribulation. Eliminate viewing it as something that's negative. As Bruce Lee said, empty your cup. Instead, view everything as an opportunity, view everything as a message, view everything as a lesson. Those are the only three views that you need: opportunity, message, lesson. So don't view anything as a struggle. Don't view anything as something that's negative. Don't view it as that. View everything as an opportunity, lesson, and a message. So that's how you embrace everything that happens to you. Because again, the things that happen to you are neutral. They're not necessarily good or bad, positive or negative. It's all neutral. You label it positive, you label it negative, you label it good or bad. But the things that happen to you, they are things that just happen to you. Neutral. You place the label on it. So view everything as something that just happens to you. And then what is the message to be extracted from it? Where is the opportunity? What's the lesson to be learned? That is how you embrace it without getting too caught up in it, because you eliminate placing a label on what it is that's happening to you. Empty the cup. Again, all these things that's happening to you, they neutral. Like the thing that you may consider as bad that happened to you could be a blessing to the next person. As they say, one man's meat is another man's poison type deal. So you just got to view everything in that lens, man. It's an opportunity, lesson, and a message to be extracted from everything. So that's how you embrace it without getting too caught up in it. Our magic realms, once you know yourself, once you know yourself, accept yourself, embrace yourself, love yourself, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Andrew, peace. What's going on? Yeah, Germ God. Again, I'm one of the ones, I don't look at anything as a coincidence, like at all. And what do I mean by that? Like I feel like I can place a reason on everything in regards to why it happened. Not necessarily saying that reason may be a universal fact in regards to why it happened, but again, perception, the mind, that's in control. So if something happens to me, I can place a reason on it, and I can use that to help myself. So that's why I say everything happens for a reason, because I can place a reason on everything that happens to me. So that's why everything happens to a reason, because I can place the reason on it. Again, power. I had the power to do that. Germ God, everything is symbolism. Dream symbolism. When you are awake, symbolism. So everything is symbolism. You just got to decipher it. You got to decipher it. D Monty Magic. Hey, like, hey, addiction is peace. Like my addiction is health. I'm obsessed with striving to be healthy. So that's an obsession that I have. It's an addiction that I have. So we gotta have those so-called positive addictions, those positive obsessions. And Nero, I'm gonna tell you one thing. The moment you say you trying to do anything in regards to peace, you fail. Peace is not something that you try to have. You don't try to have peace. You don't want to try to do anything. Effort should not be involved. That's what Bruce Lee talked about when he talked about effortless effort. Don't try. Just do. Just be. That's it. Like, don't try. Just do it. Just be it. So peace is not something that you must try to have. The moment that you try to have peace, you creating that conflict. You creating that struggle. You creating that war. You creating that battle. And you don't want that. And you don't need that, because that's not necessary for peace. Peace is just you just be at peace. You just activate the peace. Joe King, peace, no doubt. Andrew, I meant to get back to you on that, but I don't know of any exercises to help with that. If I did, I'd probably be a little bit taller myself. But I don't know anything that'll help with that. They did have something called like gravity boots. Eli Smooth, when it comes to like manifesting faster, I don't necessarily want to put a speed on manifestation, because what happens is we tend to overlook things. So when you're doing the affirmations, you're going to be manifesting on a gradual basis. It's going to be small things that you're going to be manifesting that you shouldn't overlook. See, we always want to skip right to the big thing that we striving to manifest. That's going to happen in due time. But when you're doing these affirmations and you manifesting in your day-to-day life, show gratitude to those small things that you are manifesting. When you do that, when you embrace those small things that you manifesting, hey, that big thing that you striving to manifest won't be too far along. Magic Realms, I got it's not an autobiography on Bruce Lee, but I do have a biography of Bruce Lee. I got several books on Bruce Lee. I don't have them with me right now, but I got several books by Bruce Lee and some written about Bruce Lee. And I'm gonna see if I can pull them up on the phone. But I got a biography of Bruce Lee, a pretty decent one. One book that I recommend by Bruce Lee, he wrote this one, Bruce Lee, The Art of Expressing the Human Body. That's a good one. Bruce Lee's Fighting Method. I have that joint. That's a good one. The Warrior Within, The Philosophies of Bruce Lee. That's a good one. And then Bruce Lee, A Life by Matthew Polly. Those are all good books on Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, I think he wrote 2 of the books that I mentioned. And the other 2, the last 2 that I mentioned, were written by someone else. But those are 4 good books that I have written by Bruce Lee and then about Bruce Lee. No doubt, Eric. Nero, no doubt. You already know. King, peace. What's going on with you? Eli Smooth, you already know. Oh yeah, D Monty Magic. Yeah, you quoted the J. Cole. Sean Dow. Hey, Sean Dow. Hey, now that's a lot of people that you need to get hip to. A lot of other people too. A lot of people to get hip to music. But we gonna talk about that. Oh yeah, like I said, to me, everything is symbolism. Everything is symbolic. Everything. I don't have to wait on that significant message. Everything is symbolic. There's a message in everything. Everything has a symbol attached to it. Everything is a symbol. Literally. Yeah, Terenzo. Definitely agree with that. And Magic Realm, again, yep. No, I agree. Nothing is a coincidence. Absolutely nothing. And Tavon, man, once you know yourself, you good. Once you master self, you have now mastered the universe, because you are the universe. So again, mastering yourself is mastering life outside of you. So that's why we always start with self. Know yourself and master yourself. Once you do that, you have mastered everything around you. So you good to roll. You good to roll. Sean Dow, it depends on the numerical system that you are studying. Like I said, we got on our end where we study the supreme mathematics. So our numerical system is different than most people. So the way we break down things numerically may be different than the next person. So it depends on the numerical system that you are studying. But our supreme math is real simple in regards to that numerology. Like that's real simple on our end, the way we break things down. So it's not complicated. Then we have our supreme alphabet. So every letter in the alphabet, it has meaning to us. So we can break down a lot of things. We break down everything. Y'all done heard me build on the math. So every day has a meaning to us because we break it down mathematically. So every day has a meaning. That's the reason why if you talk to any 5%ers, they're gonna ask you what's today's mathematics. Then you break down the mathematics for the day, and then you're supposed to utilize that breakdown to help you maneuver through life. That's one of the reasons why we do that, why we express the mathematics today. Like the math for the day, simple. I mean, you dealing with the 19, so you dealing with knowledge born. That's being born to knowledge cipher, all being born to knowledge. So you supposed to take all of that, and you supposed to define it, describe it, and utilize that to help you maneuver through life. So again, when you whatever numerical system that you are attaching yourself to, make sure you dealing with it on a daily basis and utilizing that to better yourself. Use that numerical system. Use the numbers that you are subscribing to better yourself on a day-to-day basis, because every day has some numerical significance. D-Monty Magic, man, hey, at the end of the day, like when it comes to getting taller, I did all of that. It was just my destiny to not be tall, especially when you see my peoples. You can try all the tactics in the world, man. Just embrace being short. Because again, I dominated. I dominated at 5'6". I don't need to be 6'2". I'm good at 5'6". I don't even need to be taller. So we good. We embraced that 5'6" and we dominated. Had to work a little bit harder, but it is what it is. Magic Realms, I heard about that book. Didn't get it, don't have it on me, but I heard about it. Yeah, D-Monty Magic Terenzo most definitely need to write that joint. Yeah, beautiful Goddess Keys. Definitely, I've done the knowledge to that. Definitely done the knowledge to the sex magic. I got a few books on I got some powerful books on that particular subject matter as well. Y'all know I got books on like everything, any and everything. Nero most definitely. And again, like I said, when we was younger, man, that was a lot of experiences that's attached to the younger days. So hey, you got to look back on those younger days. You really got to extract those messages, man. A lot of times we take that stuff for granted. The things that happened to us when we was younger, we just say we was young and dumb. Nah, forget all that. I was young and I made the wrong decision. Why did I do that? Got to decipher that in order to help the youth that's coming up underneath us. Alonzo Peach, what's going on with you? Yeah, D-Monty Magic, we be talking about that last album, man. Yeah, his last album was great. Oh, Shine Dow, most definitely. Everywhere that I went, they've always said I'm coachable, teachable, and things. Man, I'm soaking up information. I'm soaking up wisdom. That's why I like talking to my elders a lot. Yeah, D-Monty, man. Yeah, it's a figure of speech. But yeah, Eli, man, 5'6". What T.I. say? He was 5'9" with the soul of a 6'4". Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 5'6", but hey, mentally, I'm the tallest person in the room. The wife is in the building, y'all. Y'all say peace to the wife. Yeah, D Monty Magic. And then listen, when we say extract from the universe, once again, you are the universe. So decipher means extract from self. So again, we don't we don't even need to separate ourselves from that universe. So we extracted from the universe, but that's extracting from oneself because we are that universe. Everything that you seeking, you are that. Everything that you searching for, you are that. So you extracting. So if you need to extract something from the universe, you extracting it from yourself because you are that universe. Antoinette, peace. What's going on with you? Yeah, D Monty Magic, and people don't understand the art of listening. The art of listening. And then another thing that Elijah Muhammad talked about, man, he said, think 7 times. It's about 5 to 7 times. I get the number wrong sometimes, but I think it was think 7 times before you speak. That's crucial. That's crucial. Think 7 times before you speak, man. And that just simply means just think. Just think before you speak. Think about what's being said, man. Just really internalize what's being said before you speak, before you respond, before you react. Just think about what was just said. A lot of times we be too quick to respond. And for the most part, that quick response indicates that we are truly not listening. So take time. Somebody tells you something. You don't have to respond immediately. Just sit for about a minute or two. Let it resonate. Then respond. A lot of times we just off the bat, soon as they done, because we was just waiting on them to finish so we can just say something. Nah, listen to what's being said. Take about a minute or two. Then you respond to what was just said to you. Think about it. Like you said, think 7 times before you respond. Think 7 times before you speak. And this ain't even just about responding. Just before you, even before you utter something, just think about it. Just think about it. Oh, Sean, I can imagine, man. Like I said, I came into everything when I was quite young, man. So I came across a lot of information, and like I said, again, we don't deal with coincidences. So I felt like, man, I was really striving to find myself, man, way back in the day, around 17, 18. I was on a journey, man. I was really, again, and I was doing it incorrectly. I was trying to find peace in things outside of myself. So I was like, because at that point I wasn't fooling with the church, but I was like, man, let me start back going to church. Like I just felt like something was missing. So you know how that go, man. The first thing you may do as a black person, say, man, I'm gonna just try to go back to church. Well, I went back, man. I did like maybe 2 services, man. I just realized that wasn't the answer. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to establish peace in this church. That's just not it. It's too phony. It's too false for me. And that was before I even came into knowledge. Like I just got like the vibe was just off, man. I just didn't like the feeling. I'm like, man, this just don't even feel right for me. So I stopped doing that, man. And I just, like I said, man, I started reading a lot, man. I started doing a lot of searching. And once I started searching within, that's when I started to find the answers. And then the moment when you start doing that, that makes people around you uncomfortable. The people that are still subscribing to a lot of the lies out here, a lot of the deception. Once you become comfortable with who you are, you make them uncomfortable. And this can be loved ones, associates, co-workers, whatever the case may be. But once you become comfortable with who you are, after you start searching within, you making them uncomfortable. They don't like that. And that creates that friction. And it's messed up when it creates that friction and you younger. Like, so you 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's hard to deal with that when it may be your parents that you had a friction with, when it may be the grandparents that you had a friction with, when it may be the older brother, older sister, younger brother, younger sister that you may have a friction with. That could be problematic. All angelic peace. What's going on with you? All Tavon. And that ain't even mind boggling. I'm surprised it wasn't 99% of the people would rather die than think. Yeah, Torenzo. And again, hey, we could get into them breakdowns. Y'all know y'all need to listen to K Reno. Like Torenzo doing a breakdown. K Reno got a whole song about it called "Break It Down." He breaks down a lot of words in a whole entire song. Mug is cold. Yeah, so look that song up. K Reno, it's called "Break It Down." Man, he take words that you didn't even think could be broken down. He breaks them down. That's a pretty deep song. Yeah, Sean, most definitely meditate on what you're being told. Again, just think. Think about it. Yeah, D Monty Magic. Like I said, I can definitely agree with that, man, because I had always felt like I was kind of like different, unique, whatever the case may be. But I still had some level of conditioning, and sometimes I try to gravitate to the way I was raised. So I say, all right, maybe I need to go back to church, but I just always knew that type of stuff wasn't for me. It was right before I got to college where I actually made my shift. Then when I got to college, that just kind of validated and confirmed every freaking thing once I got there. Now, when I was in, y'all already know my little high school story, man. So when I was in there, I was experiencing a lot of things, but I wasn't well versed on the things that I was experiencing. So if I would have had the knowledge back when I was high, I probably would have made a lot more noise than I did. Just imagine if I would have been reading Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey around a time when school was trying to get me to cut my hair. Just imagine how I would have approached that. See, I wasn't studying them back then. Had little night. If I would have been hip to Khalid Muhammad and all of that back then, man, it would have been crazy. Some of the stuff I probably would have did. All angelic. Everything is peaceful my way. Everything is peace my way, most definitely. Hope everything is peaceful your way as well. Yeah, Tavon, and I mean energy like those vibes. Like people say, I didn't like the vibe. Like that's something that we should always pick up on. But for the most part, we tend to overlook that. And people don't understand like that gut. That's the second brain. Gotta listen to that. When you have that gut feeling, it's an actual fact. Some science behind that gut feeling. Need to listen to it. They don't call it your second brain for nothing. So you gotta listen to that. You gotta listen to that gut feeling. When something ain't feeling right in that gut, it means it's not right. It's not right. It's time for you to remove yourself from that environment, from that person. When you had that gut feeling, listen to that gut feeling. Never go against that gut feeling. Never go against it. Never go against it. Yeah, the Eckhart Tolle, yeah, Magic Realm. So you was doing it in high school. So it's like the only real different thing that I was kind of semi doing in high school was probably listening to different music. But I didn't get into the books and stuff until after I graduated. That's when it started getting real for me. And I was reading everything, but I was real big into like ancient myths, stuff like that, man. So I'm studying Atlantis, like little stuff like that. Lilith, like I'm studying like biblical myths, things that was left out the Bible. Like I'm studying all type of stuff like that, man. I was reading that type of stuff. I was reading a lot about Buddhism. I was studying Islam, studying all of that. Then, of course, like I was studying like Malcolm and Garvey and Huey Newton and all of that good stuff, man. Soul on Ice, Eldridge Cleaver. Y'all already know. I was Tookie Williams. I was reading some of that. I was reading the autobiography of Tookie Williams is one of my favorite books. That's one of my favorite books. The autobiography of Tookie Williams. Like that's one of my favorite books. And that's one of the first books that I actually had read all the way through when I had started reading. Stanley Tookie Williams. Like that autobiography is great. I recommend anyone to read that book. Any and everyone. That is a jewel. Bunch of jewels in that book, especially his transformation. I think that was the best part about it, man, to see where he came from and then to see where he ended up mentally. How he mentally just transformed himself. I don't know if y'all familiar with the story, man, but that dude mentally had transformed. And he got to another level mentally. to the point where he knew that he was about to die. He knew they was about to kill him, but he had accepted that, man. Just how peaceful he, like, just the state of peace that he manifested, man. Just knowing what was about to happen to him. Randy Warlord, Pringle, peace. What's going on? Shakir, peace. What's going on with you? Oh yeah, D Monty Magic. I ain't afraid to admit it. I was on the atheistic boat for the longest. I mean, we obviously still don't believe in no mystery gods and things of that nature, but for the longest I was on that boat proudly, and I learned a lot under that boat, honestly. I learned a lot under that boat, honestly, man. I was studying a lot of like evolution and things like that, man. I was reading a lot of books, you know, Richard Dawkins, and you studying Charles Darwin and stuff like that. But we all know evolution that precedes Charles Darwin. He didn't coin that. He didn't actually coin that, but that's another topic. Like they always want to give themselves credit for things, man. But the theory of evolution that precedes Charles Darwin. He didn't come up with that. He didn't come up with the theory of evolution. That preceded him. Y'all already know how I go. Somebody that looks like me, somebody that looked like you, came up with that evolutionary theory. But I ain't gonna lie. I went from that religion. I went from religion to pure atheist, and then I, became a 5%. So yeah, that's where I was at with it. I mean, I still don't fool with, no religious gods and none of that type of stuff. So I can definitely relate to that, but I still don't fool. I still got a lot of books pertaining to that particular subject matter that a lot of people don't necessarily like. But hey, it is what it is. And that's another thing too. I started studying a lot of stuff like that. So, people start looking at me crazy. Oh, this black man studying these anti-religious books. They ain't like that. So I was reading a lot of that type of science. And a lot of people around me definitely didn't like that again, because you got the religious background. Like, was it Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawking and stuff like that? Like, I'm studying this work. I'm studying that type of work. I was on that type of vibe. And a lot of people they didn't like that at all. And I still study that type of stuff to this day. I mean, the book that I'm halfway done with is Why I Am Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. And he wrote that book that was like maybe 1920s, 1930s. That's a peaceful book in regards to philosophy, and him just hearing a white man talk about why he's not a Christian. Oh yeah, D Monty Magic. Yeah, you already know. And pretty much that was a creation, a product of Tookie Williams, Nipsey. And then Tookie was that dude. Now this is a mere belief, but I actually do not believe Tookie did what they accused him of doing. I just don't believe it. I don't believe he did what they accused him of doing. It didn't make sense then. It don't make sense now. Yeah, Magic Rims. And then just on the flip side, while I try to stay away from it, it'd be hard because when you go to functions and family functions, they got to pray and all that. You just caught up in that matrix indirectly type deal. Almost you feel like it's by force. So even when you try to stay away from a religion, you still end up swallowed up by it or involved in it or with it, especially when you just got to deal with like family. Angelic, that's definitely peace. I definitely recommend you transition over to that vegan lifestyle. Now, I recommend doing it gradually, but again, I'm not even going, again, the way you approach it, if you feel like you want to cold turkey it, then give it a try. Do it, but if you cold turkey it, then you just know that it's gonna be rough, a lot rougher doing it that way. The best way to do it will be to slowly transition to that lifestyle, but you can cold turkey it because I didn't necessarily transition correctly. I did it rather fast, but I'm still committed to it. And I had to go through them bumps, them hills and valleys type deal. So I had to experience all of that when I was transitioning into that lifestyle. So it's all good. If you want a cold turkey, do it, but it's gonna be rough. The best way to do it would be to slowly, gradually transition to that lifestyle. Eli Smooth, no sir. Baked chicken, no sir. No sir. Again, people don't want to hear that unpopular opinion, but no sir, I don't co-sign any form of meat and no dairy product and eggs, because again, a lot of people associate eggs with dairy. They are not the same. But I don't co-sign any of them. I don't co-sign no meat product, whether it's chicken, turkey, duck. I don't care what it is. But you know how it go. People gonna strive to justify their addiction. So of course they're gonna tell you, it's healthy, it's good for you. They trying to justify the addiction. Yeah, Eli Smooth, I already know how that go. I know exactly what you're dealing with. That's why I say it's gonna be best for you to just make your transition once you get a little bit older. Because at this rate, you just being rebellious in their eyes, which is sad, man. But at this rate, that's what it is. They're not really striving to listen to what you gotta say. When really they should be taking heed to what it is that you are saying and what you are striving to do. But you can't force it on anybody, as we all know. So we all know how that go. So they looking at you like you the rebellious child right now. You just going against everything it is that they are teaching, preaching, whatever, however they want to view it. So that's how they viewing you right now. Hard pill to swallow. When all you striving to do is be a better version of yourself, be a healthier version of yourself, and they can't see that. And they can't see it. And that's the part that hurts. I already know that's the part that hurts. You just want to do things that's gonna make you healthier, make you feel better, and they can't see that. They see it as you going against the grain, you going against them. Shouldn't be that way, but that's the way we have been conditioned. So that's gonna be most parents, man, when their child strive to make those changes in the household, which is sad, but that's how we have been conditioned. So that's the fight. That's the fight we facing right now. That's the fight we facing right now, man. So that's why I say we got a lot of work to do. Because Eli, you shouldn't be having to go through that when all you striving to do is make healthy changes. So you shouldn't be having to go through that. Like, that should be welcoming. They should be like, oh man, he's just striving to better himself. I support that. Instead, they're viewing you like a criminal. And you definitely shouldn't have to be going through that, man, in your own household, man. Like, they shouldn't be viewing you as a criminal because you striving to make changes for the betterment of yourself. And Eli, that's how it is. They say what they say is be your own kind and be your own people. So when you start to make those changes, again, it's proximity. It's going to be the people that's closest to you that's going to hate on you the most. It's proximity because they're around you the most. So that's why it's going to be that way. So it's the same facts that we bring up when we talk about black on black crime and all that. It's proximity. So when it comes to people hating on you or hating on the changes that you're striving to make, it's proximity. Your family are the ones that's around you the most, more than likely. They're gonna be the ones that hate on you the most and the strongest. It's a sad fact, but it's reality. D-Monty Magic, the answer to that would probably be no. A lot of people don't read anything that they throw at us. They just don't. A lot of people, as we say, don't do the knowledge. They don't research. They don't examine. They don't analyze. Yeah, it's a Renzo. I could definitely dig that breakdown. Could definitely deal with that or dig that in regards to rebellious, that breakdown. But yeah, D-Monty Magic, a lot of people they don't. They just throw stuff at us, throw things at us, and they haven't analyzed and examined it and studied it, researched it, but then expect us to do it. So they're gonna throw the book at us that they failed to read and expect us to read it. Well, if you failed to read it, if you failed to study it, why do you expect for me to read and study this book? So what you throwing it at me for? You telling me how good this book is and you haven't studied it. You haven't read it. What does that really say about the book that you're throwing at me? I'm not about to waste time and study it and read it if you haven't, if you're not willing to do it. So that's gonna be the case 9 times out of 10. Magic Realms, the most from my understanding and experience, the main reason why a lot of kids hated reading was because the school made it that way in regards to just dry textbooks and the whole learning style. That's what made me despise reading for the longest. Was just the way they taught, just how boring everything was, how dry everything was. That discouraged me from like wanting to read. Because every time I associated reading with school, and I didn't like school because of the way they taught, because of the books that we read in school. So I would associate reading with that. So that killed my desire and ambition to read. But I got over that though. Oh, Eli Smooth, yeah, definitely want to get the book game up. When you get any opportunity, you definitely want to get the book game up. Most definitely. Yeah, you definitely want to start tackling more books, man. It's a lot to uncover out here that's within these pages, within these books. Monty Magic, they may read Genesis too. They may read, they may be decent at Revelations, Genesis, and maybe Psalms. But yeah, Eli, yeah, you definitely want to start building that library. Sean Dow, with that, man, you just got to kind of figure out your style. Maybe you can do audio books and listen to it opposed to just reading. Maybe that'll work for you. But when it comes to read, man, it's just different styles, man, different strokes for different folks type deal, man. You just gotta find a style that's comfortable for you when it comes to reading. Like I'm a slow reader. Like I don't read fast. So I gotta read, I read slow. I'm not a speed reader. I don't even like speed reading. I don't even want to learn the technique of speed reading. So like I read slow. That's just the way that I'm able to retain things. Like I'm a slow reader. And a lot of people, they more so they listen to things and that helps them. I'm a read more so than I listen to things. Like I watch speeches and whatnot and lectures and all that. But I'm more so I get a lot of my information or most of my information via reading. But I recommend probably start with like just listening to things, man, just audio books and whatnot. Oh, angelic. I don't even know where to start. In regards to books, books that I've read that I've liked, that's a lot. Like I said, Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad, Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad, Knowledge of Self by Supreme Understanding, How to Hustle and Win Parts 1 and 2 by Supreme Understanding, When We Ruled, that's a good book about our history. Man, the autobiography of Malcolm X, Revolutionary Suicide, Soul on Ice. Let me think. Man, God, Civilization. That's a good one. Black Man of the Now by Dr. Ben. That's a good one. And I'm trying to think of just stuff off the China study in regards to like nutrition. That's a good one. How Not to Die in regards to nutrition. That's a good one. The Assassination of Fred Hampton. That's just another good one because you can learn how corrupt this system is by reading that book. That's a very good one. Man, I mean, I know I'm missing stuff, man. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The ISIS Papers. I forget that one. The Blueprint, Black Power, The Blueprint of Black Power by Amos N. Wilson. Every book by Amos N. Wilson. The Falsification of African Consciousness. That's Amos Wilson. So that's another good one. Oh man, let me see. The Righteous Way, that's another good book. Star Mel Law, like that's a good one. He wrote that. The Righteous Way, that's good. The Science of Self by Supreme Understanding, that's another good one. And matter of fact, let me pull up another joint that's good. You done got me naming books. I'm gonna just start naming every book that I can think of. Some under the radar books. By Ashaka Musa Barashango, African People and European Holidays, volumes 1 and 2. Ashaka Musa Barashango. These two joints crucial in regards to breaking down the truth about the holidays that's coming up and that have passed. But African People and European Holidays, volumes 1 and 2 by Ashaka Musa Barashango. Those are some powerful books. I read those books early on. The Mucusless Diet Healing System. That's another good one in regards to nutrition. That's Arnold Ehret. That's where Dr. Sebi got a lot of his ideas from. A lot of people don't know that. But the Mucusless Diet Healing System, that's a good book. If you're looking for a book to take your health to the next level, that's a good joint. Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. That's John Henry Clark. That's another good joint. Melanin, what makes black people black by Layla Africa, and African Holistic Health by Layla Africa. Christianity Before Christ, that's another good joint. They came before Columbus. Blacks in Science, Stolen Legacy, The Historical Origin of Christianity, and The Historical Origin of Islam. See, now y'all just got me naming books. These are all books that I've read over the years. The Iceman Inheritance, that's another good book. Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization, another good one. 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro, that's J.A. Rogers. That's a good joint. The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality, that's Sheikh Anta Diop. That's a good one. The Destruction of Black Civilization. Y'all already know that one. Chancellor Williams, that's a great book. So I'm trying to find all the Black on Black Violence by Amos N. Wilson. That's a good one. That's another good one by Amos N. Wilson. Survival Strategies by Anthony Browder. That's a good one. Dirty Little Secrets by Claude Anderson. Another good one. Black Labor, White Wealth, Claude Anderson. Another good one. Pre-Colonial Black Africa, Sheikh Anta Diop. Another good one. As y'all can see, I have done a lot of reading. From the Browder File, Anthony Browder, another good joint. African Origins of the Major Western Religions. That's Dr. Ben. That's another good joint. African-Centered Consciousness versus the New World Order. Amos N. Wilson. Another good joint. Brainwashed by Tom Burrell. It's another good joint. World's Great Men of Colors. 2 volumes to that. J.A. Rogers. Those are some good joints. Man, it's some other joints. Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? That's a good book. That's a good business book by Reginald F. Lewis. Rest in power to him. But Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? That's a very good book. Dominique, yep, I just mentioned the book by John Henry Clark that I had broke down early on. And African People in World History. That's another good one by John Henry Clark too. African People in World History. That's another good joint. But yeah, John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben, I studied them early. I was watching their lectures a lot. Watching a lot of their lectures. Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark. And then y'all already know Neely Fuller Jr.'s joint, the United Independent Compensatory Code System and Concept, a compensatory counter-racist code. That is a jewel. That's a jewel. Oh yeah, Tavon, we don't do too much celebrating anything, let alone the Native Americans, but we definitely shouldn't be celebrating anything. Most definitely. Angelica, you talking about the one I just said by Neely Fuller Jr. That's the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a compensatory counter-racist code. That's Neely Fuller Jr. Oh, D Monty Magic, man, that was actually my first goal, man, was to open up a bookstore. Even before I wanted to open up a gym, I wanted to open up a bookstore. So you already know that that's about to happen. We already know that's about to happen. James Brown, my books on like organs and stuff like that, man, I don't know them off the top. I had to go dig into my library, man, to see if I got any of them joints that I recommend. But off the top, I can't really think about any books on the organs. Just one, I can't remember the name of it off the top. Let me see if I can go. Let me see if I can go find it. Yeah, it's one off the top, man. I had to go locate it, and then I'll come back to you on them. I can't think of the name of the freaking book. Oh, when Dominique, when it comes to like favorite people that I like to study, as far as penmanship and just writing style, Mumia, Free Mumia Abu Jamal. I got like every book written by him. All his books are jewels. Let me see. Huey Newton, that'll be a favorite. George Jackson, Soul Dad Brothers. That's another favorite. Of course, I like a lot of Elijah Muhammad's work. Amos and Wilson is probably my favorite. Amos Wilson be going hard, so that's probably my favorite, man. I've probably read every book but one of his. Of course, you know Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark. I recommend studying them. Anthony Browder, definitely recommend his work. Muatai Ashby, definitely recommend his work in regards to just like comedic science. Like that dude is my go-to in regards to that particular field. And then Asada Shakur, her autobiography is definitely one of my favorite books. Shahrazad Ali got some good joints from back in the day. She got some good joints. Shahrazad Ali. You always want to recognize the sisters because a lot of them have put out some work. The New Jim Crow is a good book. That's written by a sister. The New Jim Crow. That's a very good book. Professor Griff got some good joints as well. He got some good books. Yeah, Dominique, like the origins of Christianity. Yeah, I think that's one of the books I mentioned earlier. The historical origins of Christianity, and they got the historical origins of Islam. Then you got Christianity before Christ. Those are some good books. Those are some pretty good books in regards to that subject matter. I also got some other ones. But though I would start there though. Angela Davis. They was heavy on the Marxism. I even got a book called Black Marxism. I forget who the author of that book was, but I got a book on that joint. And Claude Anderson too is another one of my favorite. Yeah, Jabbar, I used to watch Dr. Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett a lot. Jamar, I ain't into any of those college fraternities, not one. I do not fool with fraternity. I understand the overall, the bigger picture of what it means, but I don't rock with them. But yeah, Black Friday, other than just getting into the origin of it, we know what Black Friday is, man. That's a way to continue to get us to spend money with these corporations. That's just the way I view it now. I don't even need to get into the origins of it. That's just a way for us to continue to spend money with these corporations, enriching them. Yeah, Nikki Giovanni, yep. Hold on. What book? Shakira mentioned a book that we saying running for $80. What book we talking about? Yeah, Tavon. Then even with Shahrazad Ali, some of her interviews, like she didn't care. But yeah, she was. Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, when I do the video on the books I recommend, that's gonna be a long joint. But I got a lot of books that I did not mention that I'm clearly forgetting. But I got a lot of books. If I went and opened that joint right now, I come out here with like 30 more books. 30 more books that I recommend. Wow, Jamar Coon, that's crazy. That's crazy. Did never heard that one. Yeah, D Monty Magic. I don't even understand I do understand the fascination behind it, but man, I never had any aspirations to join any type of Greek fraternity. Not like once you called it a Greek fraternity, I was uninterested. I was like, nah, I'm good. And that was, like I said, that was before I even did the knowledge, like was even getting the knowledge. I was like, man, I ain't dealing with nothing that's called a Greek fraternity. But you got a lot of people that just me mentioning this may cause them to jump on my head. Y'all know that brotherhood is strong. That sisterhood is strong. When you start dissing these fraternities and the sororities and things like that, they'll chop your head down. Angelic peace, you take it easy. Oh yeah, Eli Smooth, the blueprint for Black Power. If that's running for 80, that's worth it. When I got it, it was about 40 though. But I got the book about 10 years ago. But it's probably a rare book now, man. When I got a lot of another one, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. But see, it's hard to find that book because Amazon banned it. I got part 2. But y'all know Farrakhan, Professor Griff, bunch of people that got in, Nick Cannon recently got in trouble talking about the Jews, man. But that's a good book, The Secret Relationship Between the Blacks and Jews. I got part 2. It's hard to find part 1 and 2 because they banned it on Amazon, so it's hard to find them joints. But if you can, make sure you invest in them. Yeah, D Monty Magnet, that's how I feel about it. Like some things that I feel like it's subliminal. I feel like it's subliminal. So even just by you subscribing and repping it, like subliminally, that's doing something to you. Yeah, Eli. Hey, education ain't cheap, but just think about it. When you go to college, man, the textbooks the money that you would spend on them textbooks, I'm talking $200 on a textbook. So man, I take $80 for a blueprint to Black Power. I take $80 on that because that book literally is the blueprint to Black Power. It's like 800 pages. So you get a textbook at a college that's going to run you probably about 500, 600 pages, and 100 of those pages are useful, and you spending $200 on that. You may spend 60, 70 to rent it out. But the blueprint to Black Power, that's worth every penny. That's about 700, 800 page book. And literally, it is the blueprint to Black Power. 100%. Oh, Dominique, yeah, I got yeah, I read some joints on Tupac. I read his poetry book as well. The roads that grew from the concrete. So I read that poetry joint. I also read some books that they say he read. The main one, of course, where he got his name from, you know, by Machiavelli, The Prince. I read that. And then Pawns in the Game too. That's another good book by William Guy Carr. If y'all want to read a book that breaks down how corrupt this system is and how everything works behind the scenes, Pawns in the Game by William Carr. That is a great book. Pawns in the Game by William Carr. Go get that book. When people say it's chess, not checkers, that book is going to break down how it's really chess and not checkers. That book is going to break it down. So I definitely recommend getting that book, Pawns in the Game. I got hip to that book by Professor Griff. I think the album cover of his album, like his solo album, I think his album cover was a reflection of the book cover. And he talked about that book. So then I went and got it and I read that joint. Powerful. When people want to know and understand why I don't deal with politics and why I don't deal with this system, that book is a good reason why. That book is a good reason why. Pawns in the Game. Look that book up. That's a book that I recommend if you're striving to break this system down. I definitely recommend getting that book. That book is a jewel. It's a hidden jewel. Not too many people know about that joint. Yeah, Terenzo. Then another reason why some of these books cost so much is because they rare. It's not a lot of them in circulation. So they able to charge a lot more. So like that Blueprint to Black Power, I'm 100% sure that's a rare book. So that's why it's going to be a little bit more expensive now. So when a book is rare, hard to find, not many copies have been printed or left in print, like that's when that book is a little bit pricey. So a lot of older books, like books that existed back in the day, like those books gonna be expensive because it's a rarity, man. It's like a collector's item type deal. So that's why when you find one of them books, you gotta purchase that joint. Like I collect them books, man. You gotta jump on them books because you may look up a year from now and that book may not even be available. Like I got some books right now that I guarantee you, if I told you to look it up on Amazon, you wouldn't find it. Like The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews is one. I'm glad I got the book when I got it, because now you can't get it because it's banned. So you got to know somebody that has that book. D Monty Magic, man, I had stopped. Man, you don't even need those books half the time. You just listen. If you just take the notes in the class, you gonna pass everything. Oh, Dominique, yeah, that's a book that I was forgetting. Jawanza Kanjufu, yeah, I read a lot of books on, about him, but yeah, that book I read that joint. Yeah, Magic Rims, we already know. We don't deal with the politics this way. You already know. Oh, Shakir, we definitely playing chess, and that's why again we got to study the enemy. So that's why books that's like Pawns in the Game. See, the reason why those books are crucial is because it's written by the enemy. It's letting you know how they plan, how they moving. That book put you on some game. That's one of those books that they don't want you to mention type deal. That book is peace. Yeah, those Born Day books, yeah, those were rare breeds. I know one of the ones that's sitting by me. This book was a health book called the Chemistry of Man. That joint was written probably in the early the early 1920 or something. So like rare jewels like that, you gotta grab them. You gotta grab them. It's filled with a lot of rare jewels. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's outdated." Nah. Some of that stuff is very useful. That's why I go back and study the stuff that they were teaching back then. People don't understand. Like, people talk about alkaline diets and stuff like that. I'm like, man, that's just the mucusless diet healing system. And that was late 1800s, early 1900s. So that could be considered outdated, man. Nothing is new under the sun, and people don't be realizing that. Yeah, D-Monty Magic, that's what they do. Re-release it, edit it, all that type of stuff, man. That's why I be trying to find the Jews, and I just got to get them. I got to get them. Oh, yeah, Eli Smooth, you on this channel, you going to talk about books. That's one thing you going to do. And again, another good, we talked about symbolism. Codex Magica is another good book, but that might be a little bit more expensive, and it may be hard to find it. But that's a good book, too, breaking down symbolism and things of that nature. Codex Magica. Look that book up if you haven't read that joint. That's a good one. And matter of fact, I may even rephrase it, and I won't even say that I'm not into politics, because I do deal with, like, I study politics, but my politics are a lot different. My politics are a lot different. I'm into the revolutionary side of politics. So my politics are a lot different. So I'm studying politics because I like to make that educated, or take the educated approach toward the situation. So I'm gonna study the situation. I'm gonna study all sides, which is how I reach that conclusion. So in order for me to come to my conclusion on politics, I study politics. So it's like I'm fascinated with politics, which has led to me studying the truth about politics. So then I'm able to make my educated, I'm able to take my educated stance on the subject matter. But I enjoy reading about it. Like, I enjoy reading about the wickedness and the corruption of the government, how corrupt these politicians are and were. Like, I enjoy reading that. I enjoy reading about the history of the Democrats and laughing at people when they think Democrats are for them. Black people I'm talking about. So I love studying it in that sense. But as far as participating in the games that they want us to participate in, no. And the only way that a person can realize that it's not a game is, here's the paradox, is by studying politics and going deeper than the surface. I'm not talking about the surface level politics. It's plenty of people. Most of the people that wrote these books that's revealing the secrets, they were once involved in the politics. Then they realized it was a game, and then they spilling the secrets in regards to the game. But a lot, we don't read them joints. No, yeah, Jamar. Like I said, I don't even concern myself with that. I ain't even concerned about a president, because, like I said, I know they don't have the power to do much of anything. We focusing on who paying them, who paying the presidents. That's who we focus on. The people that we don't see. Yeah, D-Monty Magic. That's what I made that comparison a while back. Politics is just wrestling. On camera, they are enemies. Behind the scenes, they best friends. Y'all know how wrestlers do it. Oh, Dominique, man, I watched a lot of documentaries. Now, when it comes to documentaries, I done forgot the name of every documentary I probably even watched, man. But I watched a lot of them joints. I remember the Obama deception back in the day, though. I watched that. That was like a 2-3 hour joint. And I know y'all remember Zeitgeist. I know y'all remember that, but I know the Obama deception was that joint. Nick Lewis, peace. What's going on with you, man? The vibes. Hey, we peace today, man. We peace, and we talking about corruption, man, and just how to maintain your peace amongst all the chaos. Because we much greater than that. We much greater than our circumstances, than our environments. We got to elevate beyond those circumstances in that environment. We got to transcend above and beyond that because we're much greater than our current circumstances and our environment. Don't become a product of your environment. Produce the environment that you would like to be in. Yeah, James Brown, and that's what we saying because I had a lot of people. I had people in my family suggest that I get into politics. I'm like, nah, man. The stuff that I study, if I made it to any type of, if I reached any type of status on a political level, I would be the one that would get assassinated. So I'm like, why would I want to involve myself in politics? Now I'm learning the truth about it. Hence is the reason why I would want to stay away from it. I wouldn't want to get involved in that, especially with the approach that I would take. Wouldn't end too well with a person like me. Oh yeah, DeMonte Magic. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, they can't win at all. And they know that. They know that. We just don't know that. So they know it. Yeah, Dominique, I heard about that. Yeah, man, I'd have seen so many documentaries. Man, I watched a lot of documentaries, just a lot. Yeah, Dominique. Yeah, what politician have you seen these days with locks long as my? So I wouldn't fit in. So I wouldn't even try to fit in. Yeah, Magic Realms. I wouldn't even fool with it. So I was looking up. I'm like, man, y'all, I should get into politics. Nope, that ain't happening. I ain't going out like that. Dominique, man, like I said, right now I'm reading the book "Why I'm Not a Christian" by Bertrand Russell. Um, I got a few books on like nutrition that I'm striving to break down, like conscious eating, becoming raw, talking about the raw food lifestyle. This book behind me, Chemistry of Man, that's a good book that I plan on fully breaking down. Man, let me see. What's crazy is 50 Cent actually got a good business book. He got two of them, as a matter of fact. The 50th Law, that's a dope book, just on a business tip. And Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, that's also a good joint by 50, man. That I'm gonna finish up. But that's a good joint. Both of those are good joints, I mean. Then I got like some little science books. Biology of Belief. That's a book that I've broken down, but I want to break it down again. The Universe Within. It's another book that I got that I plan on just breaking down. This book that we got right here sitting next to me. Bring that up. Y'all know what MOT stand for, so this a good jewel. As y'all see, it's thick, but it's a good joint. Orlando Peace. Oh yeah, DeMonte Magic. I always, when we talk about balance, equality, and stuff like that, I never talk in 50-50 because that's just unrealistic. They even talk about that with the 80-20 rule. Like business let you know off the rip that it ain't no 50, it's 80-20. They gonna let you know that 80% of the revenue that you make is gonna come from 20% of your customer base. So nah, they let you know how imbalanced everything is. And then I even got a book that say it may not even be 80-20, it may be 90-10 and things like that. So it's always imbalanced. When you look at things in life, like it's never really gonna be split right down the middle. It's gonna be uneven. Oh yeah, Dominique. Like I said, I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna probably drop my next joint, my next book. I'm gonna probably drop that. If it's not before 2021, it's gonna be before the end of January. So I definitely got my next joint cooking up. Yeah, we always working. I'm gonna be releasing book after book after book. That's gonna happen. I ain't about to stop. I ain't about to let up with the books. I'm gonna break a record, man. I'm gonna try to release over 10 books in 2021. I think I can do it. But I'm gonna try to release over 10 of them joints. Dominique, most definitely. That's where they got it from. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, that's most definitely where they got that from. We already know. We already know where they got that from. Oh, Jamar, hey, you own it, man. You got it. You own it and you got it, man. You own it and you got it. You manifesting, you attracting. It's magnetism. But like I said, like I mentioned on this channel, I'm just getting started. Like I said, man, it's a lot of stuff, man. Like I ain't even built on it yet. A lot of stuff, man. I ain't touched the surface on a lot of things. So it's a lot of things that I haven't tapped into. And I'm just waiting. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. So a lot of y'all be saying, man, I needed that today. I need this today. I'm telling you, timing is everything. I'm in tune with myself. So I know when it's going to be the right time to drop certain pieces of information. So when you see me come out with a video and you say you needed that, guess what? That's timing. That's me being in tune, me being in sync. I know that you needed that on a subconscious level, on a deeper level. So that's why I dropped it. So timing is everything, man. We got a lot of stuff to tap into. Again, we ain't even scratched the surface. So we got plenty of jewels to drop. Plenty of jewels to drop. D-Monty Magic, it's a lot of guys that they don't I got one of the guys used to be in this chat. He ain't tapped in a minute though, but once he tap in, I'm gonna probably put him on camera one time. But I got a few of us around here that I can put on camera, and y'all can really hear how we build. Yeah, that debate podcast, y'all already know. I'm trying to find somebody. I'm trying to find a platform, man. Somebody talking some nonsense that's destroying the black community. They need to get me on that platform so I can let them have it. I have no problem with debating, man. I need to go find me, the black Christians or whatever, the black people that's out here eating the meat. I need to go find their platforms, and man, they need to holler at me. Oh man, Dominique, it's crazy. You talked about it's a book. Man, it's a book off the top of my head. I just forgot the name. It was right at the tip of my tongue. Let me see if I can think of it. I'm gonna try to type it in, man. It's a book right off the bat, man. I had it. It was right at the tip of my tongue, and I forgot. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here we go. Man, this is a powerful book. Without Sanctuary. Without Sanctuary, man. It really read that book. Grab that book, read that joint. Without Sanctuary. Talking about books about slavery, man. It talks about all the hangings and stuff that took place. It's crazy. Without Sanctuary is a powerful joint. It's a powerful joint. It give you the photographs, and that's part of the title. Without Sanctuary, lynching photography in America. It's a powerful joint. It's a powerful joint. It's gonna frustrate you, but it's a powerful joint. Eli Smooth, I don't necessarily believe in no superpowers activating in May. You can activate your superpower right now to this day. Whatever I don't even know what they mean by superpower. But when I say activating the power, man, that's just basically manifesting whatever it is that you want to manifest. You ain't got to wait till 2021 May. You can do that right now. You can do that right now. Everything that you want to manifest, you can manifest that right now. You can start the process right now. That's what a superpower is to me. So if whatever goal I have, me manifesting that goal is a superpower. Then all you got to do is start eating right, thinking right, meditating, getting proper rest, drinking water. Then all these superpowers that people talking about, you will activate all of that. You will manifest all of that. Nick Lewis, hey, point me in some directions, man. I'm here to shut them down. Yeah, without sanctuary. Yeah, definitely grab that joint. But y'all know, man, y'all know what time it is, man. This was a great stream. Good dialogue. I had a little bit more time today, man, but y'all know what it is. I got to head up to this gym real quick. Got a class that I got to teach. So I got to get the gym ready, man. Got to get this session going, get this session cracking, make the people hate me. Y'all know how that go. Love the job, though. So I'm going to holler at y'all. I'll probably be on again tomorrow. Like I said, I was going to go 7 days straight because I'm going out of town, going to Mississippi next week, so I won't be able to be live, but probably like 1 day next week. So I'm making up for it this week. So it's all love and it's all peace, man. So y'all enjoy this Thursday evening. And I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Might be around the morning time or it might be around the same time, man. But y'all be easy out here. Stay healthy. Get y'all some rest. Get y'all some good foods in. Drink y'all water, man. Be easy, y'all. Peace.